Good morning, this is Joe Biondo with Inbound Logistics, and we are live today from day 2 of MODEX 2026. Right now I'm talking with Jay Howard, Product and Business Development Manager with Intralox. Jay, how are you today?
Doing well. How about yourself, Joe?
I'm doing well, Jay. I appreciate it. We'll jump right into it. So what would you say is the biggest pain point your customers are bringing to you this year compared to maybe 2 years ago?
We're hearing a lot more about footprint compared to 2 years ago, and labor, as always, matters. So our customers are always trying to be more efficient with the labor that they're using, the process packages, but footprints had some heightened importance because many of our customers are increasing the portion of buildings that they're automating where the building already exists, doing brownfields versus greenfields, whole new sites. And when you have brownfields, there tend to be tougher existing space constraints that you have to work around.
Great insight. So looking around the MODEX floor today, what's one thing you've seen that may have been unthinkable even just 5 years ago?
We're not all wearing masks and walking around with hand sanitizer.
Remember that? That was...
But a little more serious, we're seeing vision-based solutions go from being just talked about to actually being implemented into our products, others' products, and ultimately into our customers' facilities. And I'll talk about that a bit more later as we get into some more of these questions.
So Jay, as your customers are embarking on their automation journey, what would you say is one of the biggest mistakes you see folks making?
I think that not fully recognizing the difference between what they hear about performance in marketing materials versus what's doable in operations is the biggest mistake that even experienced customers make. So they hear, wow, 10,000 packages an hour, but that's so dependent on the quality of your labor, the types of packages coming in, the processes that you have. So we work really hard to help separate, the wheat from the chaff, fact from fiction, and guiding our customers to a solution that we think will actually hit in operation what is promised on paper.
So out on the booth floor, you guys are showcasing the zero operator induction solution. For the facility managers who are out there struggling to find labor for the inbound dock, how does this system offset manual inductions with one autonomous flow?
So it's a very powerful system, and the key to it is really that in-feed into the sorter. We have a couple of really important products that just act as the linchpin to getting this to zero operator.
Yep.
One is the bulk flow optimizer, and two is the smart pass singulator and gapper. And what happens is the bulk flow optimizer can take mountains, piles of packages from upstream coming from inbound dock doors and meter it out, spread it out into steady flow that works really well for the smart pass singulator and gapper. It also eliminates almost all of the stacks coming in so that you don't have errors on the back end.
So you guys have essentially paired that bulk flow optimizer with the smart pass simulator, and what that's doing as these are working together is taking that messy pile of incoming packages and essentially turning them into a perfectly gapped single file line. Is that accurate?
Yep, exactly. And I'm glad you brought up the singulator and gapper piece because the bulk flow optimizer is meant to feed a package inflow that the smart path likes and can handle well. And so on that one conveyor, you get packages singulated and gapped with really even spacing that makes it clean, easy for the sorter downstream.
So we all know poly bags and bubble mailers are a nightmare for the sorting world because they're going to get stuck or slide. How does your ARB technology handle those tricky, irregularly shaped items without a single human touch?
I'll answer that one at the single level. So the goal is to seek perfection, but recognize that you're never actually going to get perfection.
Yep.
Seek perfection by tweaking the algorithm for the bulk flow optimizer, making SmartPath a little bit better every day, every week. And over time, you go from 10% to 5% to 3% stacks, errors in your packages. But you always know when you don't have an operator there that there's going to be something that tries to get through. I mentioned vision earlier as one of the big advances from a few years ago.
Yep.
We have a doubles detection system. It's a camera that looks over top before packages go into the sorter and sees, okay, you have two packages stacked on top of each other. Reject those off. Don't try to sort them, because then the package bound for Memphis ends up going to Cincinnati.
So many warehouses today are obviously cramped for space. You're claiming this solution has an exceptionally small footprint. How are you able to pack this much technology and pack this much conditioning power into such a compact design?
Probably the biggest unlock is combining that singulation and gapping function in one machine in the SmartPath. There are other savings in how we integrate these different pieces of equipment together into one system, but a lot of it comes down to having an 8-foot-long singulator and gapper.
Makes sense. So these machines can function independently, right? But but you've designed them to seamlessly integrate. What is the additional value a customer gets when they deploy the full Intralox ecosystem rather than mixing and matching parts?
We know all the things that can go wrong, and we know all the things that can be optimized. Why start that learning curve from scratch with someone trying to cobble together all the pieces together for the first time to save 10% when we've been through this rodeo before?
Makes sense. So you've worked out the kinks, and it's good to go out of the box. So
Yeah,
final question here, Jay. You guys, and a tidbit for the folks watching at home, that Intralox actually invented modular plastic belting back in 1971. In 2026, how are you using that 50-year legacy to stay ahead of the massive surge in e-commerce volume we're seeing today?
I love the question. Modular plastic conveyance actually started 50 years ago to solve a problem created by another solution. So our founder created the automated shrimp peeler, and he said, this works great, but I don't have a good way to feed it. Couldn't feed it with a metal conveyor because just the salt water was corrosive. So he said, maybe a modular plastic belt would work. I think that same mentality works in our day-to-day at Intralox today just as much as it did 50 years ago. And so we solve the next problem, and then a new bottleneck reveals itself. A new problem presents itself to be solved, and we go after that, and it's just a non-stop cycle of innovation.